Hey, what's going on, DZ Team? It's Z here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be going over something that I'm calling the Family Defense Plan, and this is catered to basically ensuring you and giving you guys a template of how to protect your family when it comes to your children, your wife when you come home, and all that kind of stuff. So here are just 5 points. There's a million points that we can talk about, but without further ado, let's get started with the video. Alright guys, so first things first, I got my notes. Gotta read my notes, you know? I'm out and doing jobs, I like to write notes, and here we are. Get some stuff for you guys, alright? So, the first point I got here is called school procedures, alright? So this is when your kid goes to school, some procedures that you can take in order to make sure if something goes wrong and you're at work that you know, have a general template of who, what, when, where, why kind of thing, right? So the first one is set up a plan to where your child, if your child is old enough, right, to have a phone, and set up checkpoint markers, right, time, locations, where they are. So for example, let's say your kid walks to the bus stop, right? Have them send you a text message at the bus stop, right? Giving them checkpoint marks to let you know what spot they have hit. We utilize this in the military too. Hey, just hit, you might see it in movies, right? With like, hey, checkpoint Bravo, whatever. It's relaying that information. That way, in case something goes wrong, and you don't know what happened, and you lost communication, that you have a general template and pinpoint location of where to start looking because something happened at that location, right? So, school procedures there, and then same thing when they come home, when they get off the bus or when they're at school. Hey, just got to school. Hey, just got to class. Whatever the case may be, you kind of get the point. So, alright, so point number 2 is when someone gets home first, right? What do you do? What does that person do? Should you have a standard procedure? I think you should, right? Because whether you have an alarm system or you don't, it's better if you have one alarm system, but if you don't, right, a window could have been broken in the backyard or a side window of the house, and typically people aren't checking that, right? So when you go into the house, make sure you have a checklist or a checklist of how to kind of clear your house, if you will, and make sure it's safe. Have somebody go to the rooms, kind of look and make sure that you're looking from a distance and not just walking on your phone, whatever, and completely get blindsided to what the main goal of it was. Right, so make sure you develop a checklist when you come into the house. For example, one day I left the garage door open, I know, and I decided to go and clear my house. My firearm, like anybody would, right? And I went and had a set procedure of what I was doing, and then I had my wife stay in one specific location. Having a procedure when you come home, setting the alarm when you go to bed or at night or whatever, okay? Having procedures when the first person gets home, that way they know the house is safe, whether you're mother, father, or child, whatever, and then have contingency plans in case something does go wrong. Alright, so point number 3, this one I call the backup plan. So the backup plan, right? What if your child forgets their key from school and they get home before you do and they're walking home or whatever? What if they forget something like that? The backup plan is designed for you to go and talk to your neighbors, talk to a friend that your child walks home with, or whatever the case may be, to have a quote-unquote backup house, a plan B house. So when you go over there, you can know that, hey, they're not at home, they should be in this location. It's setting up standards or procedures in case something goes wrong, contingency plans, if you will. Now it's kind of self-explanatory, so I won't talk about that one too much. But also, right, if it's closer to the bus stop if that Plan B house is closer to where they get off the bus from your house, it also gives them a quick route to go over there. Okay, so backup plan. Number 4, and this one is going to be kind of self-explanatory, but get training and train. Right, so when it comes to firearms training, self-defense training, martial arts, whatever, it's a journey, and it's less of a trip to the grocery store, right? You can't go to the grocery store, buy something, and expect it to last the rest of your life. You have to continuously go to the grocery store. Kind of the same thing when you do firearms. When you need to go to a class, continue to train as you continue to move forward. So as you continue to train, right, and all that stuff, now you should be able to train your family in that discipline, whatever it may be. So when you train your family, you can have those skills prior to the training that you had before. Right? Moving on. The number 5. So 5 is to develop code words. We utilize this in the military a lot. We have challenge or passcodes, right? So when somebody says one word, we reciprocate with another key word. Same, we have emergency calls too, in case, like, let's just say we're having to come into our FOB or operating base or AO, whatever, and we're getting content, right? And we don't have time to stop and do this challenge or password thing and hide it in conversation. We have a quick word that we can say to get in because we're in immediate danger. And so, for example, right, if you wanted to use it for your family, set up it in 2 different categories, like a immediate danger, and then we're gonna have another one where I'm not fully in danger right now, but I'm a little nervous and could lead to something dangerous. For example, if I see somebody staring at me from across the street, or I'm your child, right, I'm gonna send a code word, either text message or call you on the phone, sending you just a random code word that is signaled to you, but is also kind of hidden in the language. That way, in case somebody was hearing, I'm not like, oh, I smell or like you're not saying, hey, I got a bad guy watching me, right? It's more inconspicuous, like, hey mom, what's for dinner tonight? Is it pizza? And right, and code word could be pizza, right? So same thing if it's an emergency, right? Think about if somebody was in immediate danger, a short, quick word that could be hidden in the language, but picked up by whoever knows that word, the keyword, right? So for example, if your kid got kidnapped and they said, proof of life, here's the phone, tell them you're alive. Mom, this is so-and-so, and the name could be a fake name, but the keyword could be the name, right? So it's just stuff to think about. 2 different categories, immediate danger, or I'm about to be in danger, right? I have a couple of other points here for you, some bonus points if you want to take home with you. It's point number 6, is plan your work and school routes. So for example, right, if your kid bus stop is on the corner of whatever street, plan out how they're going to walk home and where they're going to walk home every day. And then same thing when you go to work. What's the fastest route to get home? What's the fastest route to get to work? What if the main road that you're on is under construction and something goes wrong? Can you get home fast? Do you know the back roads? Do you know the alternate routes? Again, military-esque type planning. When we have a mission set, we plan routes. We plan for contingency plan. What if this doesn't work out in your favor, right? Where do we go next? What do we do next? That way, even under stress, you have a plan and you have a route. That way you're not thinking on the fly about it. And if something goes wrong with your child's route and something happens, they didn't show up at home, but they for sure got off the bus because point 1, we did that texting thing. Now you have a template route of where to start looking, right? Okay, well, something had to happen between there and here. Do we have neighbors with cameras on their house? Can we go and look at their camera footage between this time and this time, right? You can start to kind of narrow it down and get some resources to kind of help you in your search. All right, now point number 7, and this one will be the last point here, is know where your child's classes are located. Don't do that no more, right? So your child's classes location are important in case something happens at school. Okay, the class is here. Here's the school layout. Classes here, 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 here. So if you go to a parent-teacher conference, if you go and tour the school with your child, or whatever the case may be, it will be optimal for you to kind of know where those classes are located and go and meet the teachers and understand that. Because if something happens bad at school, or somebody goes in and kidnaps your child, God forbid, at school, right, you can know where they were about to go between what time and what time, because they would have showed up at one class but didn't show up at the other. Right, or if they're skipping class, right, you know that they should be here between there and there. You can start to kind of de-escalate it and do some investigative work that way. So those are 7 points. I know I talked about 5 or whatever, but I gave you some points for a family defense plan that'll kind of help your family be well more protected. And yes, it's going to take work. It's going to take effort. But you know what? Your life's worth it. Your kids' lives are worth it. And it's almost free to do all of these things, minus the get training part and the buying the gear and all that stuff. But it's not very expensive, depending on how well versed you want to get into it. And let's stockpile a closet full of weapons and gear and plate carriers and be full operator and LARP with everybody else, right? So go out there and train. If you like this video, leave a thumbs up. If you think I left anything out that might be essential, go ahead and leave it down in the comments. I'm interested to see what your guys' thought processes are as we start getting these wheels start spinning. And if you think anybody would benefit from this video, go ahead and share it with them. I would really appreciate it. Our goal here is to make all of you guys safer and a stronger, safer, more protective, self-sufficient community. So hopefully we're doing that, and I'll see you guys in the next video.